Welcome everybody to Meet My Friends. Today's episode is number 17 and my guest is Augusta Massey, and we're gonna be making t-shirts with the number. That's why I assign each of my guests with the number.
As long as mine says the fantastic number 17, I will be fine.
We can definitely do that. So for the audience, I'm going to tell you how I met Augusta. So I met her at National Speakers Association. I don't know if it was the first or the second time she came, but she came and said hi to me and complimented on my outfit. That's why I remember her. And then she became my friend on Facebook, and I've been following her. And she's someone I want us to learn about. So welcome, Augusta. It's all
Thank
yours.
thank you so much, Maria. It's so great to be here. Another thing I loved about Maria, I was telling her before this, I want to shop in her closet. That's one. And then it was so easy to remember you because my mom is also named Maria. And I have cousins
Oh,
who are named Maria. And you just have that light, that spirit that captures people and draws people in. So it was a pleasure to meet you and to get to know you.
thank you so much. You're very kind. Well, I want you to know you're a part of a big project. We're going to be making a live presentation soon as possible. Also, reunions over via Zoom. So I already have 17 participants. Some of them you know, some of them you will know. So the purpose is to form connections and that we're a part of this positive project that we're going to be proud of.
Yes, I'm looking forward to it, and I'm so thankful to be here with you today. So fire away. I always do better when you ask me questions, and I'm happy to answer and share with your audience.
Okay, I see that you have a lot of talent. So about your lawyer attorney activity that you do, I
Okay.
want us to know what kind of law do you work on and what is your specialty?
Okay, so great questions. So I right now I practice in bankruptcy. I do a lot of Chapter 7 bankruptcy work. When I first started practicing law, I started out in bankruptcy. I externed for 3 bankruptcy judges while I was in law school. So bankruptcy was something that I've always enjoyed and did that from the beginning. Um, Bankruptcy is one of those places that really fulfilled my mission while I went to law school. So I went to law school. I know it sounds so cliche, but I went to law school because I wanted to help people. And rather than be a nurse or a doctor, I can't stand the sight of blood. I just can't. I can't stand the smell of hospitals. And growing up in a Nigerian background and an African household, you're the one of 3 things. You're a doctor, you're a lawyer, or you're an engineer. So I did go the engineering route, tried that. It wasn't for me. I knew I did not want to be a doctor, nurse, or any of that stuff. I would faint in a hospital room, and so lawyer. And so it was one of the ways I wanted to help people. And in bankruptcy, you see people at their lowest, right? You see the entire submission of an individual based on numbers, right? You see how they spend, what they spend on, and it tells a lot about an individual based on their finances and how they spend their money. But to see them in that place and offer them a chance at redemption, offer them a chance to have a fresh start and live life anew. That was something that just really drew me to bankruptcy. There are not a lot of people who look like me who practice in this area as well. So many different reasons. And I believe in people. I believe in second chances. I believe a lot of us are not taught properly how to manage our finances. And so when you make these mistakes, to be part of that redemption story, to be part of the person who helped them cross over that divide and start afresh and assist them during that very, very, very dark, sometimes painful periods. I've had clients cry in my office. It's one of the reasons why I am passionate about this work. But besides that, I also do a lot of business legal type of work, so business formation, business contracts, any kind of contracts, starting up your business, what's the right entity to form, why that's the right entity that will work for you. And then I used to do a lot of litigation until I became a judge pro temp. So with a judge pro temp, I don't do as much litigation as I used to do. I get to be in court in a different capacity now, which is fun because you get to make the ultimate decision. So it carries its own weight, but and in the beginning it was a little bit more difficult to pull back as an advocate and now be more of a neutral party. But so far so good, and I've been enjoying it since 2017.
Do you have more clients now due to COVID situation?
I too, bankruptcy has really picked up, but not near the numbers that as an industry we're expecting to see. So there are a couple of things, there are a couple of reasons for that, right? There has been in the moratoriums on evictions, the stimulus package that was given out, PPL loans, and so many other things. And we are happy as an industry that there are all these stopgap measures that were in there in 2008 when we had the great, recession. But we are afraid that once all those measures get taken away, we're going to see this huge influx. So the numbers have already started climbing, and we expect they will climb from now until, sometime next year.
How much is the amount that you recommend when people owe an X amount of money to contact and try to do bankruptcy, if that is even the last option?
Yeah, so I call bankruptcy the boom option, the bomb option. You try not to go that route if you can avoid it because it stays on your record for 7 to 10 years. So there's a lengthy, long amount of time where that follows you around. But there, like with anything else, there are pros and cons to doing things, and we don't necessarily give like a dollar amount, more so a ratio, right? What is your debt to income ratio? And so you can have someone who's making 50,000 and may not be a good candidate for bankruptcy. You may have someone who's making 100,000 and may be a perfect candidate for bankruptcy. It really depends on what is their debt to income ratio. Are they making more um, and keeping more, or are they keeping a lot less than they're actually bringing in? So when your expenses really are exceeding your income, that is a good time to consider bankruptcy. And then if you have debts like medical debts, credit card debts, a lot of unsecured debt, which means that it's not like a house or something that is attached to a property, then you really need to start considering filing for bankruptcy. And especially when you look in your future and you see there's just no way I'm going to be able to recover, those are some good indicators for when you should consider filing bankruptcy.
Do you have any type of payment plan or anything that you can offer the people who is obviously low in money?
Yes, yes. So with the entire pandemic and the things that that is affecting all of us really, I partnered up with another company called Fresh Start Funding, and they offer clients of mine a payment plan. So that used to be the thing that bugged me about our industry was you had people who had financial distress, but then the entry point was a barrier for them filing. So the amount that they had to pay to an attorney to assist them, through this process became a stumbling block for a lot of people. And while bankruptcy is not something that I feel like it's rocket science, there are a lot of nuances to it. There are a lot of interesting twists and turns that you definitely need an attorney to help you navigate. For example, someone who moved here less than 180 days ago may not necessarily be eligible for the exemptions that we have in our state because of that 180-day period. So there are little nuances of that nature. Or do I keep one car or both cars? What is, a reaffirmation agreement? Should I do it? Should I not do it? What are the pros and cons of doing that? So many different reasons. How do I qualify for bankruptcy? What is the means test? How do you calculate the means test? And how is that different from your Schedule I and your Schedule J? So those are just, and then we have all these terms, right? Schedule A, Schedule B, Schedule C. Like, oh my God, what is that? How do you figure out, what goes what and where? And how do you make sure you don't leave out a creditor? So there's so many different things. And like I said, if you spend enough time, you could sit down, you could figure it out. The bankruptcy court is great in that all the forms are online, but it's just we're all people, right? And we all lead different lives. And so something that might be true for me might not be true for you.
Mm-hmm.
Certain things that I do may not be what you do and how you spend your money. So having that professional there to kind of guide you and help you fill out those documents. And then all documents are filled out under penalty of perjury, which is serious because now you're dealing with federal statutes. You're dealing with federal prison fines. You're dealing with federal prison time. And so I don't think people just want to go and lie, but you can make mistakes and you can forget to include things. And you sign this document that you said the whole truth, that could get you into a whole lot of trouble. So having an attorney there to assist you with that is crucial and important.
How long does the process take? How long in an average have you seen?
Yeah, so on average, the process takes about 4 to 6 months if it's an easy, straightforward bankruptcy. So if it was like, how long does it take to prepare the documents? It depends. How soon can you get me documents quickly? I need tax returns for the last 2, 3 years. I need all your bank statements from all your accounts for the last 6 months. I need your pay stubs for the last 6 months. Any social security interest statements, I need that. I need your utility bills for the last 3 months. So how soon can you gather all those documents so that we can verify and do our own due diligence? We put together the documents. Sometimes these are like 40, 50-page documents by the time we're done. And then we file it. And then that begins the process. You have about 30 to 45 days after the filing before you see a bankruptcy trustee. And then it's called the meeting of creditors. So your creditors can show up, trustees there, they ask you a bunch of questions about your paperwork, about your finances, about your numbers. And then after that, you wait another 30 days just to see if there are any other creditors out there who might have a claim for why you should not have a bankruptcy discharge. And then after that, those 2 time periods, I really tell most clients, it's really smooth sailing. If you don't have any objection and there are no creditors who really show up and have any objections to you obtaining a bankruptcy discharge, then we're just waiting now. We're counting time for administrative purposes. We're counting time for different things for the trustee to do. And then, you get your order of discharge. And then shortly after that, your case is closed. So for the average, at least with the clients that we have been, taking on and assisting over the last couple of months, it's been taking about 6 months with no hitch. I like to do my things right from the beginning. I had a pastor who used to say, things don't go wrong, they start wrong. And that was just something that really stuck with me. Like, things don't go wrong, they start wrong. So I've applied that to a lot of areas of my life and in my business. And for bankruptcy, we like to start correctly. So when I have all those information in the beginning, we can start off your case correctly. And it helps us to avoid the little pitfalls that can um, you know attack a lot of people if they don't take care of those things in the beginning.
Are you taking people in person? Is that how you're doing consultations?
So right now, due to COVID, it has my British accent. Yeah. So due to COVID, I've been doing a lot more Zooms than I have. Even the hearings now are also done via Zoom or telephonically or through Blue Jeans with the court. Different technology has really helped out our profession right now. And so as much as I possibly can, I try to avoid a lot of contact. I do try to meet with the client at least to just verify they are who they say they are. One of the documents we ask for, your social security card, your driver's license. We verify that to make sure that you're the person who is actually filing for the bankruptcy. And then we minimize as much as possible face-to-face contact due to the pandemic. But I can't wait until we can go back to working again. I am an extrovert. I like people. I feel like I'm a lot more busier now than I used to be. Then you could have those breaks. You go out, have drinks and all that good stuff. Now we don't do that anymore. So it's like work, 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 work. So I can't wait until we get back to being in an office again. Yes.
How is the process with the judge now, with the courts as far as COVID? How has that changed it for clients?
So that's a good question. Court now is very, very interested because everything is online, and people make their appearances online. So it has been really just very, because you miss like being in the courtroom and having everyone in there, and for some cases you actually call witnesses and have them testify. You can watch their body language and things of that nature. And now you don't have that one-on-one interaction that you used to. I miss the court staff. It just, again, I'm a people person, so this has been, I'm tired of staring at computers and I'm tired of staring at Zoom calls. But it is what we have to do right now. So we're doing and making the best of it.
I understand. Everything has changed, right?
It has, but you know what? Though people keep saying, "Oh, this is the new normal," and I think we'll never go back to the where we used to be. I think that that is quite. I beg to differ. I stand on the camp that says we will go back to the way things used to be. It might be a modified version. It might now be the way things used to be, and then now all these pandemic alternatives that we have, like people who still want to do it virtually, we will still be able to do it. But I think for the most part, though, a lot of us like that one-on-one interaction, right? We like to have that face-to-face contact, and I miss the hugs and being around people. I think for a lot of people, um, the allure of conferences and meetings and all of that, I think we will return back to the way things used to be. Yeah.
I think I called you by mistake.
That's calling me. I'm like, why is
Sorry.
Maria?
I was trying to silence my phone and then I'm hearing the ring. I'm like, oh no, is
Do you have a twin that I don't know about? Like,
no, these things happen on the meeting, so it's pretty casual.
yeah, I was like, why is my phone ringing? I'm talking to Maria. So,
No, it's me. Also, I saw that you're an author, so I don't know about your book. Tell us about it, please.
great question. Great question. Thank you so much for asking that question, Maria. So I wrote my books out of, so I'm going to have to backtrack a little bit, give you some background story. In 2014, I was pregnant with my son, my favorite son, as I call him, even though he's my only son. And I was on bed rest and I wasn't able to practice. I wasn't able to work. But then I remembered that I had put some systems and things in place the year prior to. And so even though I was on bed rest, I was still making money. And so that was something that I just felt, because my friends were like, how are you still making money? How are you still able to do all this stuff? You're on bed rest, you're not really working, like, how are you doing this? And then I used to get a lot of calls too from, because I mentor lawyers, younger lawyers, and I like that work. I like mentorship because of the give and take and the things that you can birth out of that. So I was having this conversation one time, and she just kept drilling me down, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna write a book. Overachiever that I am, I was on bed rest and I decided, yeah, I can write a book. And so I wrote the book. The first one was called Lawyer Up, and it was for lawyers to teach them how to become bosses at their own law firm, to help them to get into a place where they could make money. And for me, like, money's not really the end goal. It was being able to have that time to let my body do what it was supposed to do and birth this child, and at the same time still, financially support my family. And it was just, so with the whole pandemic and stuff, there were tools, there were some things I was already doing before the pandemic, so it wasn't really too much of a stretch to just switch over to do that, because some of these things I've been doing for quite a while now. So anyway, so I wrote the book to answer that question and to help a lot of young mentees, other people who were asking questions about how do I start my own law firm, friends who wanted to transition like I had transitioned from working for a firm into my own business, just laying down the steps and the action that I took, from my mindset to the tools that I incorporated to marketing, all of those things that they don't teach you in law school, but that you need to be a successful business owner. So it was focused more on the business side of law, because I feel like as our attorneys, we're very good at what we do. We're very technical. We understand the subject matter. We really focus on the academical part of things, but how do you run a business? And a lot of us go into business to make money. I don't know too many people who are in business not to make money. Even nonprofits need the money to be able to do the functions that they do. And so that was why I wrote that book. But then after that book came out, I had gone through a campaign. I learned a lot of things along the way about publishing, about writing is the easy part, actually publishing it, marketing it, all of that same stuff that I would do for a business. After that, though, a lot of people were like, you only work for lawyers. What about us? Like, and these are my clients. Like, you're supposed to be a business attorney. You're supposed to be our business lawyer. What about us? So they were feeling discriminated and left out. And so the second book I wrote, Boss Up, was an answer to that request. what about us? What about us business owners who want to start up a law firm? I'm sorry, not a law firm, start up their own business, right? And so I go more into sole proprietorship, LLCs, um, corporations, what you need to do, what you don't need to do, marketing on a shoestring budget, that sort of thing. So that was Boss Up. But then after that, then I started getting question, can you teach us? Can you teach us how to do this? So last year I started working on my mini course called The Legal Advantage. And so the legal advantage, you can find it on my website. It's called www.mylegalbestfriend.com. So mylegalbestfriend.com, because I want us to be the best friend for business owners. And so that course it's the legal advantage. It's a couple of modules. It doesn't take long. You can finish it up in a weekend. And it's just really like an introductory course into starting your own business for beginners. But the difference in my course is because of my legal background, I go into the legal aspects of things you need to be doing in the beginning, which is different from a lot of courses that I saw on the market that talk about maybe the business side of things. My course starts from the same steps I took, my mindset, my business processes, but also the legal side that you would pay hundreds and hundreds of dollars for an attorney to assist you with. So I have the course, I have the books, and for a while too, I used to do vision board classes. Funny, but I just felt like vision boarding for me has really changed my life in terms of manifestation and how I manifest things. I just feel like as human beings, we have to stay focused. And so even with the pandemic, I done my vision board for 2020, which so I had to do a new vision board and just keep that in front of me to keep me reminded and focused on the things that I'm trying to birth for this year. And so far, so good. I've had a couple of minor setbacks the last 6 weeks. I've lost about 6 people. So it has just been like a really trying time, but having that vision board, remembering what I'm here for, what my purpose is, what I'm doing is so great. And I just feel like our minds, we really, really, we gravitate towards pictures. When you think about, you're teaching a child, A for apple, B for ball, you're showing them little cute pictures, and it just helps them, learn and retain. And so there's something about a vision board, more than writing it down, more than journaling it, just having that stuff in front of you and using it the correct way is a great manifestation too.
I definitely practice that. I believe on it. And you're
Yes,
surprised when you get like the hardest thing that you think it was hardest to get. And when you see it, it's like you want to cry.
yes, yes. And I tell people it's like, don't put a time limit on it. It can happen today, it can happen tomorrow. It just, like how badly do you want it? How much are you focusing on it and all the good stuff? But it's such an easy way to just pull things into your universe that you really, really, really want. So a lot of things like, so my friends used to joke, they would go like, oh, now you have another award. Now you have another one, another one. So that's my nickname now, another one. But a lot of those things were on my vision board, right? Awards and accomplishments and accolades in and out of my industry. And so just certain things that you put out there. And then when you see it, like you said, it's a great visual reminder. And you just get so emotional and you cry because you know that really and truly you can design your own destiny. You can create your own life. You can. And I'm not saying that, I don't believe in a higher power or that there are not some things that are out of our control. But I always say if you can control anything at all and you could do just a little bit to bring good things into your life, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? And it's so fun to make. It's so easy. I put on my earphones, I'm cutting my stuff and it's just like get into the zone. And it was like they know not to disturb me when I'm doing my vision boards. It's self-care. Self-care.
Are they getting bigger as the years advance, as you gain like understanding and as you see manifesting as an art of love?
Actually, I'm thinking my vision boards now have become smaller, to be
Okay.
honest with you, because there's something to be said, I believe, about just the power of focus on a few things rather than so many things.
Mhm.
And my vision has become bigger and bigger. So I feel like I need all this energy focused on, 4 or 5 items. And then when I accomplish this, I move on to another vision board. Because before I used to think I put everything on my vision board, but sometimes I find myself like I want a vision board just to focus on my spirituality, or I just want a vision board to focus on this dollar amount that I'm trying to bring in. And so I find now that my vision boards have become smaller and smaller, and but then I found more creative ways and places to put them. So like on my phone, on my desktop, just different places that it's constantly in my face and constantly in my forefront, in my view, and that those things get accomplished faster and faster, and then I move on to the next one.
That's
Yeah.
interesting. I like that.
Well,
Less
it gives me
items,
an
more
excuse.
focus.
Sorry, say that again.
No, less items, more focus.
Yes, less items, more focus. Yes.
I'm glad. So where can people find your books? I want to say that they're such a great titles, and that helps on selling, promoting, and everything. So you did a good job on
Yes, thank you. You can find my books on Amazon.com. You just type Augusta Massey, they all pop up. You can find them also on my website, either www.mylegalbestfriend.com, or you can find them on my law firm website at masseylawvegas.com. So MASSEYLAW Vegas.com. So instead of Las Vegas, we did Law Vegas. Just to be just to be extra.
I see you have a happy spirit and you like to enjoy life. And I like that about you. You have like a joyful spirit.
Hmm.
Tell us about that.
I don't know. It's I tell people if you find out my life story, you will see that I have been through a lot of adversity. So joy is something that I consciously choose every day. And I am intentional about my happiness and I'm intentional about my joy. And it doesn't mean that I don't experience pain or that things don't happen to me. Like I said, I've lost at least 6 people since the end of July. I'd gone for my father-in-law's funeral, came back, find out that I lost another colleague at a college. So there have been, it's not always rainbows and sunshine, but I feel like we can all choose consciously to be happy and to be joyful, to have a joyful spirit. Um, and again, I have been through so much adversity, so I've seen what it looks like. I've seen the depression, I've seen that, and so I rather choose this side where things are good, where things are happy, and I feel that things are always happening for me. Things are always happening for my good. There's a lesson to be, learned in every experience, and I just try to practice a positive attitude. It doesn't always come easy. There are some days where I don't want to talk to the world. I felt like that for the past couple of weeks. Um, but coming back out again, I just have to remember that as a human being, it's okay to give myself that grace, right? It's okay to know that, and not just me, anybody else. It's okay to know that there will be some dark days. Adversity comes to us all. It's what do we do on the other side of that? What do we choose on the other side of that? That really, really matters. And so for me, every day that I get a chance to breathe, every day I get a chance to impact anybody, any day that I get to inspire people with my story, any day I get to help people through my legal work, any day that I get a chance to do what it is that I do, is a day to be joyful. I woke up the other day and someone had bought my book online, and I was excited. I was like, yay, this is why we do what we do. Another person impacted, you know, and they reached out and we talked briefly. But this is the reason why I do what I do, and so I try to also practice gratitude. Like, I'm grateful for the person who found my book. I'm grateful for you reaching out, and for us doing this. I'm grateful for whoever is going to watch this, and hopefully it inspires them. And I think once you do that constantly, it gets you to a place of just being joyful. Life is fun. It really is. And we get a chance to live it. And it's ours. It's our precious gift. We get a chance to decide. We get a chance to use it. We get a chance to determine how it goes. And I just find something so fantastic about that. Animals don't get to do that. So
No, but
we're
we get to,
special.
I can sense energy on people. So when I saw you, you have like this bright energy, right? But you have this smile. And it's something I can hear on the vibration of the voice of a person when they laugh. And you
Mm,
have that. It's this high vibration of love. It's like I can sense that you love yourself, but it's not just like something superficial. It's more of a deep connection with divinity inside you, but also with life. Like you have this enjoyment and this like appreciation for life and for everything that you come in contact with. And I sense that. And even now that we're talking, that's what I feel like I need to tell you.
Thank you. Thank you. I feel like I should say namaste.
Yeah.
Thank you, Guru Maria. Yes, life is good. It can be good. It has its ups and downs, but that's what makes it interesting, right? That's what makes it interesting, and that's what makes it life. I read one quote one day, and it's like, I want to skid sideways into my grave. I'm like, I'm not sure about skidding sideways, but I do, I do want to have good stories to tell, and so far I have been lucky enough to have some really great stories to tell.
How does having a son make you feel? Because I see a lovely mother, right there. Like it's almost like I went through your pictures and I see myself. Like when I can see myself in you, I can feel how you feel.
Right, and I was like, even when you came on, I was like, oh, she has a
Yeah, we
hairstyle
saw
like
the
me.
braid the same time, girl.
Like she got the memo inside her day. But yeah, I enjoy being a mom. Okay, so my first born is a girl. I had her in 2012, and she was just a journey on her own. So I'll tell you a little bit if we have some time. I was pregnant. It was my first pregnancy. I had just started my law firm. That was not the plan to do both at the same time. And so I was like, whoops, I'm pregnant. I missed the first trimester. I didn't even have any signs. And and so the second trimester, when I found out I was pregnant, I was doing all this stuff real quick. I have to do all this stuff. I have to do my nest. I have to paint her room. I have to do this, do that. And I think I just wore myself out. Anyway, so one day I was supposed to go to work. I had interviews. I had work, all this kind of stuff, hearings, rather not interviews, hearings. And I just started feeling this pain. Long story short, I got rushed to the hospital via emergency. I got there and they're like, oh my God, like you need to be flipped upside down. So they flipped me so that I'm like my feet's in the air, my head is down, because they said gravity was working against me. But at this time, I didn't know this. All I know is that I'm hanging upside down. I'm in this triage room with all these other women going, oh, oh, the noises that as pregnant women we make. And I'm like, oh my God, why am I here? My baby's not, she was only at about 20, 24 weeks at that time. And I'm just like, why am I here? And so I'm calling my mom, I'm calling my husband, I'm calling my sister, like, oh, 911, I don't know what's going on. And so eventually, they get a call from my doctor to tell me what's going on. So apparently my baby was coming out already. I had dilated 3 centimeters. She was already crowning. She was ready to come. So all those pains I've been feeling all weekend were not just cramps. They were actually labor pains. And I had to have emergency surgery, and then I had to be on bed rest with her too. So all my babies, they just put me out of commission. So I'm there in the hospital on bed rest. I stayed about 6 weeks, and then on the last day, and I was finally able to go home. Um, she decided, no, I'm not going home with you. I'm coming today. Like, get me out of here. So I had to have an emergency C-section. She came out really sick. She had to go to the NICU, and she stayed in the NICU for 3 months. So you can just imagine, like, here I am, had a business I was running. Now, I had this baby. I felt like my introduction to motherhood was by fire. All the things that could go wrong had gone wrong. And I felt like my body failed me. Just so many things, right? And it's a first time mom, so you don't even really know what you're supposed to be feeling, not feeling, and nothing about it was normal. So that was my daughter, and so I ended up calling her Kairos because I just felt like she had her own supernatural timing, and she needed to be there at that time, and that's why she came. With my son, there from the beginning, they were like, okay, after your last experience, we know that you have your pretty much they were calling my cervix incompetent. Can you just imagine? These doctors are so rude. They're like, your cervix is incompetent. You're gonna be on bed rest. I'm like, okay, whatever. Rude doctors. So I stay on bed rest throughout the whole time. And so that's when I decided to write a book. But with him, it was just an easier pregnancy. But then, come 40 weeks, like, dude, are you gonna come out? And he's like, no, I'm chilling. I'm eating pizza. It's comfy in here. so, so at 42 weeks, I was supposed to be induced. And then, of course, the night before, my water broke. And so he decided to make his entrance rather than be forced out. So with my kids, I say they both have a sense of humor. They don't care about mommy's timing and what mommy has to do. They're both very smart, very precocious, ask me a ton of questions. They keep me on my toes. And it's gotten worse with the pandemic because they're schooling from home. So, yeah, very, very interesting people with strong, strong personalities. And they teach me so much every day, just about life, about myself, about running a business with children. They are my biggest inspirations.
Yes. How do you feel when you out of work and you just get to see them and talk to them? Like sometimes that happens with me and my son. Like I get busy working and then I come. I have a 9-year old and I don't have a daughter. I always wish to have one. And I saw your picture with your daughter and beautiful eyes, and I love the shape she has on her face, like this
Yeah,
bottom. It's so cute. And it's just the connection that you have with them is like they bring out the child in you.
they do. I love children because they don't have any guile, you know? They don't have this expectation of you. Um, Children just, they let you be. And they tend to see the good in people, right? They haven't been corrupted, they don't have all this stuff. And so their minds are also not blocked. They see possibilities, infinite possibilities. And and so why I love playing with children and why I love my children, and we roughhouse, we do all kinds of stuff, we bake, they're my best travel buddies, everything. um it's just because like children make it easy for you to just be yourself, and you can get really creative. Some of my best solutions have been actually talking with my kids, like, so what do you think about this? And they give me something that it doesn't mean it doesn't sound great, but then I can take it and what for whatever reason, whatever they say, just helps my creative juices, start flowing. So children are awesome. I was talking to a friend the other day, and she was like, "I dreamt and I saw you. You were like working with children," and I was like, "Oh, was it paid though?" Was it paid? 'Cause I still got bills to pay, but I think it would be just a fun job just to work with children, especially little children, right? Because you just get to see them come alive, take their first steps, say their first words, do all of this stuff, just see them be human and interact with the environment. And so, I don't know, I love children. If I had easier pregnancies, maybe I would have had more kids. Pregnancies were not so kind to me, so I think I'm good. I think I'm good for now.
I think adoption is an option, also.
It is, and it's something that I've always gone back and forth with. But we'll see, we'll see. You never know with life, right? We'll see.
Yeah, I think you'll have to consult them and see what they think about it.
I know. My son already said yes. He wants more
Oh,
siblings,
that's
so
good.
he wants more siblings. So I already know his answer is yes. His older sister, yeah, I can see her saying yes too. We just need to get daddy on board and mommy on board because I don't know. I don't know
It's a
yet.
lot of work. If they're on diapers, it's a lot of work, and
It
it
is.
takes a couple of years to get out of those.
It is, and the sleepless nights, and all of that is, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of commitment. It really is. I have enjoyed playing with my friends' kids and be like, here you go, here you go back. That has been fun. It's always fun when you can give them back. But when they're in your house, they eat all your food and they ask you 100 million questions. So.
They do, definitely. But it's like they bring the best out of you because there is no blocks on the connection.
Absolutely. And there's the bond, and there's, honestly, they really are my motivators and my cheerleaders. Like, I was complaining today, I was like, oh, my back, and my daughter brought a pillow, and I was like, just those random acts of love, right? That just make your heart melt. And or my son always seems to know when I need a hug. My daughter too. It's almost like, and so I don't know how to explain it. It's just children bring out a different side of you. And I feel like I grew up a lot when I had them than before I did. So this is the mature version of me.
That's beautiful. Is there anybody that you want to shout out or last words or where to follow you, how people find you, how they can contact you if they want to
Yeah.
join your program, anything that you can teach or coach?
First, I just wanted to say thank you so much. Thank you so much for working with me and my crazy schedule and just to be here on this platform with you. It's an honor and a privilege to be able to call you friend. For anyone who wants to reach me, I am um, on LinkedIn as Augusta Massey, on Facebook as Augusta Massey. My law firm is www.masseylawvegas.com. My other website is www.mylegalbestfriend.com. And you can find my courses, my books, Boss Up, Lawyer Up on Amazon. You can find my course, The Legal Advantage, on my website. And I look forward to connecting with you in several different capacities. I can help with not just bankruptcy, but if you're thinking about starting your business and how do you go about doing that, especially in our state, I will love to talk to you and I will love to help. So thank you again, Maria. I really
You're
appreciate it.
welcome. I know you're super busy and you're free to end it anytime, but I also want to tell you that you're welcome back. And I have a couple other shows that you might want to join when you have time. I will explain to you, or you can look at the other videos. But there is room for more. And I'll be doing also 21 days until Christmas. That's gonna start probably late November, beginning of December. It's gonna be to bring the joy of Christmas. So before even that one, I have two more that you can join if you like. But I wanted the audience to get to know you, and then see what you're all about, and also contact you if they need to.
I appreciate that. And I'm a Christmas baby. I've been playing Christmas music since July. So count me in, count me in for
Yeah,
that.
you are invited. So what we're gonna do is music, is decorations. You're decorating your tree. We're gonna have hats for Christmas,
Oh,
backgrounds, music, anything you wanna sing. It's just
okay.
to bring up the spirit because I don't know how it's going to be this year with COVID, but it is also because I wanna have those videos available for the following Christmas. They're
Mm,
gonna be on
okay.
YouTube.
Okay. Awesome. I love the way you think. I love everything that you're doing. So count me in. All right. Well, thank you again so much. I really do appreciate you.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for taking the time. You're the first lawyer attorney that we have in here, so it's good. You're a pioneer on me, my friend.
All right. Bye.
Bye.